Hey guys, this is Sharat with REsimpli. Really excited to have Billy Fernandes on this call. He's a long time REsimpli customer, return customer. So I'm really excited to kind of jump into this call and find out about its experience. Hey Billy, how are you doing, man?
I'm great, Sharad. How are you doing?
Really great, man. Thank you for coming on the call. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? What market do you invest in? And what kind of investing do you do?
So I've been in investing for 3 years. I've been in REsimpli for just over 3 years now. We are in DFW, in, around, and surrounding counties of DFW. We're in, I believe it's like 14 different counties total. We also do dabble down in Houston, Austin, San Antonio a little bit as well, Waco, some other counties. So we're a little bit of everywhere within Texas, but primarily I would say like 90% of our deals are happening in DFW. So that's the majority of it there.
And what's your primary exit wholesale?
Yeah, we wholesale about 80% of our deals, and about 20% of them we are either buying for holds, being rentals, or for wholesales. We'll just take them and list them on market, or we will flip them ourselves as well. We flip maybe about 25 houses a year. Don't go too deep on that, but when it's something that's super simple, paint, carpet, scrape the popcorn ceilings and list it, we definitely do it.
Yeah. I know you've really scaled your business. Do you mind sharing how many deals are you doing per month? Totally cool if you don't feel comfortable sharing.
No, absolutely. I'm an open book with everything, and that's like what I try to push on my social media as well. I think there's just so many like fake gurus out
Yeah.
there. So I'm an open book about everything and profit margin, what we make, what we don't make, what works, what doesn't work. But this month so far, we're sitting at we have it in 5 business days left, including today. And this month so far, we're sitting at 22 contracts. Last month we did 32 contracts. The month before that we did 31. So we're sitting on average 31 contracts. Now there's a contract and there's your deals as well, because there is a fallout. I do believe we have a lower fallout rate than most other companies out there. I think that's because we know how to negotiate the deal up front. Very good. And then we have a great dispo team. But our fallout, so if we contract 30 properties, we're going to close about 23 of them. And of like the call it 7 that don't close, 3 or 4 because of title issues, and 3 or 4 because we missed the mark on ARV or repairs, or seller wasn't maybe honest about repairs on the house or something like that. So we're closing about 20 deals a month right now, give or take.
Yeah, I appreciate the transparency, man. That's something a lot of people don't get into. They just talk about, hey, I locked up 10 contracts. Great. How many did you actually close on? So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. And then it comes down to, cool, you locked up 10 and you closed 10, but what was your average fee on it? And it's
exactly.
like, kind of sucks if your average fee is $3,000 and you spent 30 in marketing, you're not making anything.
How much is your average assignment fee or wholesale fee?
Yeah, we float right at the 20K mark. Some months are 18, some months are 23. But I'd say like right on average is 20 grand is right what our assignment fee says.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. And you've been using REsimpli for 3 years, but there was a brief period where you left and came back. Yeah, so just talk about that. You left for Podio, I believe, right? And then you came back a couple of months later. What happened there?
I joined a coaching program that I honestly didn't really get a whole bunch out of. And I was just convinced at that time that like, hey, Podio is where you got to go. Like, this is why it works better. This is like the call systems, this, that, whatever. And so just being naive, I took the bait, jumped over, spent several $1,000s on getting Podio built out, got into the system, had all my leads ported over, all my phone numbers ported over, everything. That alone takes a couple weeks to do. Literally from day one, I was like, I don't like this. This isn't good. And I was like, but I'm going to give this a solid 60 days to understand the system, use it, give it my best shot, and see if I like this Podio system the way it was built out that was sold to me. I gave it 100% up until about day 50. And I was just like, F this. This is awful. And so then I came crawling back and begged you for forgiveness and asked you if you would take me back into your lovely CRM again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny that when you said you were going to switch to Podio, Danielle messaged me. She was like, I feel very confident Billy is going to come back. Yeah.
And there I was.
What were some of the specific challenges that you were facing with Podio? What made you come back?
Yeah, so with Podio, you got to integrate it like a secondary phone system into it. That was an issue. I would say the number one thing though was just the user interface was just it didn't flow like REsimpli. It was very customizable, but it didn't flow. Like it just didn't. I could take someone to REsimpli and spend 2 hours with them and they could hit the ground running. Podio, I got to spend days with someone
Yeah.
to get them to understand the system. And I was still confused after 60 days. And I'm a pretty tech savvy guy. And I was still confused after 60 days. And I'm just like, why things weren't, why something was getting marked into a certain status and not moving, or it was moving over here. A lead would call in and it's not showing in a certain area or system. It's just messy. So I would say overall was like the user face, or the I don't know if that's a proper term to use there, but the usability of the system was the number one thing for me. Is like, it's simple, but it captures and does everything we need it to.
Absolutely. I feel like sometimes people get too caught up with needing something customization in their CRM, and it just ends up making it way too complicated for their own needs. So I totally understand that. Yeah.
And since then, you've made it more customizable in the aspect of columns and statuses and stuff like that, which is really, that's all I had needed.
Right.
Now it's there. Like, it's honestly, it's damn near perfect for us. So
yeah, absolutely. And then, you're part of our advisory committee, so you see kind of the things that we have coming. So I appreciate all the feedback that you give us. What are some of your favorite features in REsimpli and why?
So I know that there's some new features coming out that will probably be my favorite. But I think overall, my favorite feature right now is the ability to track your KPIs within the system, which is also, I know that's getting even more updated than what it is, but being able to see like who's actually making the calls, who's doing the contracts, who's putting deals together. That's one of my favorite features. Second one is being able to see like what all leads are open at any given time and what status they're in. And essentially, if you have 20 leads that are open, you could prioritize who do I need to call based on the status. If somebody made an offer to is open, and for anyone that doesn't know, open means like they called in and we didn't answer, didn't text them back. I'm going to call that person first because we have an offer out to them or a contract out to them, versus someone who is just in our lead manager nurture column. We're not going to call them over someone who has an offer, or someone we're trying to process that lead to get them an offer. We're able to prioritize it that way. And then third, I would say, is definitely like the customization of the column statuses that we have through the system, going from new leads to no contact made, lead manager nurture. Then we have a column for processed leads for acquisition guys, appointments, offer made, and then under contract. And one of them that'll be sliding in there between offer made and under contract is contract sent. That will be one of my new columns once that feature comes out for you, or once the new feature comes in the system, we'll add another column. It's going to be a contract sent. That way we know what leads are sitting on a contract right now. So
cool. And then you have a pretty large team, multiple acquisition disposition managers. Can you just give an example of like, what does your process look like in REsimpli on your acquisition disposition side?
Yeah, definitely. So team size wise, give everyone a little context on that. So I have 2 lead managers. I have 5 acquisition managers. I have 1 VP of acquisitions. I have 3 dispo reps. I act now as a VP of dispo over those guys, and I have 2 transaction coordinators. That's on the sales side. Then Tara runs the marketing side. So what it looks like as far as the flow coming to our system, it starts with a new lead comes in our system. The lead manager makes contact with them. And my rule of thumb is, do they have a situation going on? I don't have my lead managers get too heavy into qualifying a lead. If they have a situation, pass them off to the acquisition manager. So that situation would be like, I want to downsize. I'm behind on my payments. I have a new job offer, whatever it is. Just find a situation is the easiest way to describe that, and pass them off. Don't worry about condition. Don't worry about price. Don't worry about timeline. And don't worry about motivation, which motivation kind of is your situation. But if they have a situation going on, pass them off to the acquisition manager. The acquisition manager then takes that lead and they process them. That's when they then go into those 4 pillars of, why are you selling? They get deep on motivation. I tell them like really like 75% of your time should be spent on that person's motivation. Get into motivation and then go into the condition of the house. Then from there, we go into the timeline, how quickly they looking to close or sell or move. And then if we get a price out of them, great. I'd say about 75% of the time, you're able to get a price out of someone. The other 25% of the time, you just never hear from them. And then after they process a lead, they make an offer on it. And then after they make an offer, hopefully it goes under contract. And after it goes under contract, it then passes over to the TCs, into our wholesale pipeline, and our dispo guys then work that deal through the wholesale pipeline.
Well, thanks for sharing that, man. In your opinion, in your experience, is there anything in particular about REsimpli that sets it apart from other real estate software that you've used or other software that are out there?
I would say like what sets it apart is that the phone system and and the list stacking, the dispo side, the acquisition side, the TC side, it's all integrated into one system. And you don't have to have 5 different, things you're using to be able to function as a company. You're able to function just out of REsimpli, not Podio, smartphone, Asana, a Google Sheet, and some other system. Everything is in there. If you use the system properly, it does take a little bit of effort to use REsimpli properly, but it doesn't take any more effort than it would if you were to be filling out a Google Sheet or Podio or smartphone or some other system trying to use that. So I like that it's just all kind of captured under one umbrella, and you're kind of the one-stop shop for everything.
Cool, man. All right, finally, what would you say to someone who's considering using REsimpli for their real estate business?
I would advise someone, whether you are just starting out or whether you already have an established business, like definitely look at it. Definitely give it a shot. It's honestly, it's fairly cheap to get into, or I know I'm locked into my earlier pricing, but like it's very affordable for what it is. I have, 50 phone numbers. I'm looking at them now. You could add phone numbers, you could do different mail campaigns through it. Someone who's like on the fence, I would say like, I have not seen any, and I always have my ear to the ground on like what's the latest and greatest out there. But I don't get easily distracted, and I still have not seen anything out there that is a wholesale company pipeline. Now there's tons of CRMs out there. There's Salesforce, HubSpot, Podio, but they are all need to be customized and built out to work for you. Where REsimpli is designed specifically for wholesale companies. And now that you can actually edit the columns on there, I could see real estate agents using it just as like their prospecting program for themselves on, agents. A lot of agents just kind of wait for a deal to come in, or someone they know that needs to sell their house. But if a real agent is out there doing marketing, whether it's TV, billboard, direct mail, word of mouth, website, Facebook ads, whatever, and they set up all their own campaigns, they could still work that lead through the system as someone who needs to sell their house. And just like anything else, they contract that lead to sell their house.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Billy. Hey, if someone wants to connect with you and learn a little bit more about your journey, what's the best way for them to do that?
Mostly on Instagram. My handle is Billy, BILLY _Ferndes, FERNS.
Right.
That's probably most active. So you can definitely reach me there at Billy _Ferndes on Instagram.
We'll put a link to that in this with this video recording. Thank you so much, Billy. I appreciate you coming on the call, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherrod. Anytime.
Thanks.